Buonasera, miei cari amici del TEDxModena. Questa è la quarta volta che sono qui con voi e sono grata della vostra estrema ospitalità e professionalità. Grazie mille. And that is the end of my Italiano. So back to English. I am so happy to be here with 17-year-old Aiva Anagnostiadis, who is an Australian driver with F1 Academy. And we're going to learn all about what F1 Academy is soon. Both Aiva and I come from Melbourne, Australia. And Aiva is driving to become one of the first female F1 drivers through a program that is led by Susie Wolff, a name you probably know from Formula One circles. And the program that Susie leads is called the F1 Academy. So Aiva, let's get into it. Tell us what F1 Academy is.
So F1 Academy is a single-seater series. The car is a F4 car, which is the kind of first step you take to head into Formula One. And we're 18 girls on the grid, and we follow 7 rounds of the Formula One. And we're also creating a Netflix series, which is going to be released next week. So they've done a documentary on the girls from last year, and yeah, I think we're really looking forward to seeing that and then showing the world kind of behind the scenes of what it's all about.
Very cool. I cannot wait to see it. So that series is out on Netflix over the next few weeks.
Yes.
Your next race is coming up in 3 weeks?
Yes,
Where will it be?
Canada, Montreal, so I'm really excited for that track. I've never been to Canada, so yeah, I'm excited to visit around. Hopefully I'll get a day to get over the jet lag and then get started.
Beautiful. Okay, we know that right now there are only male drivers in Formula One. Tell us how you came up the ranks and about your journey vying to join the men on the Formula One track.
So I started racing karts when I was 6. My mum originally raced when she was about 12 and then got back into the sport after she had me and my brother. And from then on, we just grew up at the go-kart track. It was really our soccer weekends. We were at the racetrack instead. So, I kind of just started there. I was dancing as well. I always did dance competitively. I won 2 national championships in dancing. So Mum and Dad kind of thought, okay, that's what she's going to do. She's going to go and do dancing. And then I turned around one day and said, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to be a race car driver. And then from then on, it was just fully commitment and everything else was put to the side. I'd started racing over in Europe full-time at the start of 2024. We moved over to the UK, the whole family packed up everything because my brother also had an opportunity. He's with the Mercedes Junior F1 program in their junior academy, and he's racing karts at the moment in the senior category. So for really, just to relocate overseas was kind of ideal. We took everything, the dog as well, put her on a plane and moved house to the UK, and then realised that we didn't like the weather or anything with the UK. So we now are in Semione at Lake Garda because Mum is Italian, so it's a bit easier to get around and we have family here. But yeah, we've just packed up and I hopped in single-seaters midway through last year and took the leap of faith and hoped to get in the academy.
And much better food here in Italy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, why would you say it's so important that we get female drivers into this sport?
I think we're not going to have any more females coming through the formula categories if we don't get them when they're younger. So I think starting young now, if you look at the karting fields, there's quite a bit more girls coming through. You look in the formula categories, nothing's really changed. I mean, there are a couple of my generation coming through now, but we really need the younger girls to start in karts and to realise that at the age around 10 and 11 that they can get in to the motorsport, and then they'll obviously keep going, hopefully, if they love it. But I think just encouraging the younger generation, and when younger I mean like 5 or 6, because that's when really where I started. That's when you see the kids like Kimi Antonelli's and everything, they're in Bambino karts when they're 4 years old. So getting the girls in young and getting them committed to go the whole way through, and then hopefully we'll see them in F2 and F3 as well.
Now, a part of that journey is, and a really important and often not talked about part of the F1 journey and all the F series is the economics of it. So yes, we want to get more women and young girls into the sport, but tell us about the economics of being a racing driver. How much does it cost, say, to do one practice session?
A test day in Formula 4, which is the beginning series of the categories, you can go anywhere from €6,000 to 12,000 for a day of testing. So if you don't have the backing or money behind you, it's very hard to do as many days as the kids that are very, very wealthy. And, you know, if you've got a runner that's at the track every day and another one that's sitting at home, this one's going to be faster than the other one. So it is hard to kind of equalize yourself against the people that are doing 100 test days compared to you only being able to do 10 because that's all the budget you have. So it's a very money-driven sport in a way.
Absolutely. And then, okay, so if it's €6,000 for one session, let's think about it in terms of years. Like, what would a season be in F4?
An F4, the Italian F4 Championship, the top team, a seat, I think, this year sold for €1.4 million. So that's not including testing. And, you know, you don't know whether that driver's got sponsorship or whatever, but that it's impossible to fund if you're not from a wealthy family. Like, we don't have the budget to go do that championship. That's why F1 Academy is such a good opportunity, because Susie Wolf has just made it very accessible for people and the girls that don't have those big of funding behind them to be able to still race. If I didn't have that opportunity this year, I wouldn't be racing where I am now.
What about F3? Once you move up, F4, F3, F2, it gets more and more expensive, I imagine.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about that?
F3 is probably double that. It's F4, so it's probably 2 million around there. It is, the past 2 or 3 years, the prices have gone through the roof because you've had a lot of wealthy families come through the sport now that, you know, you want to be at the best team and everything, so they put the money up to be there. Sadly, that's the way it is, and yeah.
Okay, so you are working, the topic of this event today is disruption, and you're working to disrupt single-seater series. What will it cost for you to get there?
A lot of sponsorship, hopefully, because I don't have the budget to get there at the moment. You know, we have to, as a female, you have to get the results on the board, otherwise sponsors and people that want to invest you throughout your journey will just look at it as kind of, you know, you're just another girl, but you've got to try and stick out from the rest of them because there's only a minority coming through and there's only so many they can choose from, which compared to the men, you could come 20th and be a boy and they'd be like, okay, cool, but you come 20th and you're a girl, you're no good. So it's a very fine line of just trying to get the sponsorship behind me and, you know, Tag Heuer, who's sponsoring my car this year, with correspondence with F1 Academy, they've been great with helping me trying to get some viewing on social media and, you know, talks like this to try and get the sponsors on board and help me keep going in my career.
And well done to Tag Heuer for sponsoring and, you know, projecting you forward on this path. It's really important. Now, there's a saying in leadership that you need to see it to be it. Who did you look up to? Who are you inspired by?
When I was younger, I think it was obviously my mum because she was involved in the sport and I honestly didn't see another female at the track when I was younger apart from her. So I just saw her do it and I was like, okay, I can do it then. But you've got the girls that have families that are not one bit involved in motorsport and they're trying to tell their family about it and they'll just kind of sometimes shrug it off and it's kind of a bit disappointing. But I think if they see, like us in F1 Academy, it shows the karters, okay, there's somewhere I can reach when I get to F4 and that's a pathway that's going to help me continue growing. So I think for us, we're showing the younger karters and then hopefully we can get, now we have Abby pulling in GB3, which is showing us that she's running at the top 5 in the British F3 Championship. So, you know, that's showing us that we can do that too if we have that potential.
It's been quite a journey to get here. I still cannot believe you're 17 years old. I mean, she's so poised and together. It's very impressive. Tell me about some of your favourite memories from the track. Like, tell us some of the pivotal things that happened growing up.
I think just growing up in Australia, racing, it's different to over here. We say we're a lot tougher because the grounds here are concrete. In Australia, it's red dust. So I think just going around in the caravan, Dad's Greek background, so he'd bring a spit to the track and we'd have a yido, and just being with my team that I was been with my driver coach for now, I think 11 years this year. So it's more like a family and just going around the tracks and enjoying it. Now it's more of a job, you know, we're out here searching for sponsorship, and my career's on the line every year because we don't have the money to pay for the next year. So, you know, you're racing and you're trying to do your best, but in the karting days, you really, I think looking back at it now, I wish I absorbed it more because it's the way you grow up through the sport, and then now it's game time.
Okay, so we have time for one more question. What message do you have for young girls, and whether that be here in Italy or anywhere around the world? As you know, coming from Australia, young girls are coming through the ranks from all parts of the globe. What message do you have for them about excelling in motorsport?
I think don't worry about what other people think. I think that's one thing that I did too much when I was younger, and even I still do it now. But don't worry about what your brother says or, you know, your best friend at school. Just go do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, if it's something that you love and you want to pursue in your career, then just take the leap of faith.
Fantastic. Aiva Anagnostiadis, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And best of luck this season.
Thank you.